For 76 days, Wuhan remained sealed off.
And here we are again.
The then and now are striking. It is a city whose name evokes mystery, allegations of cover-up, and agony. Wuhan, China. CNN returning to this, the original epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak. On January 23, 2020, this metropolis of more than 11 million residents locked down. We left hours before, beginning a 2-week quarantine in Beijing. For 76 days, Wuhan remained sealed off.
And here we are again, back 1 year later, the Huanan seafood market. This at one point was believed to have been, by Chinese authorities, the ground zero of this outbreak. Just over the fence here is one of 2 hospitals that China built in just a matter of days. You got to remember, they entered what they considered to be wartime mode. That's what they mobilized into doing, constructing this so as to meet the rush in demand for patients looking for help, desperate for help, really. It now sits empty nearly a year later. However, we're told that inside they are prepared to reactivate should the need arise.
The virus's origin has become highly politicized. U.S. officials accusing China of covering up and allowing the virus to spread. China defensive, saying the Trump administration was deflecting blame for its own mishandling. A team from the WHO is now in Wuhan, tasked with trying to find out the truth. And yet, geopolitics aside, the human suffering, it is universal. Young Min spoke with us knowing she could face pressures from officials, but a mother who's lost her only daughter has no more to lose.
When I sat down, you thanked me for getting the truth out. What is the truth as you know it?
The local officials did not tell us about the pandemic, she said. If measures were taken, I would not have sent my child to the hospital, which was the source of the infection. Last January, Young's 24-year-old daughter had been receiving treatment for cancer. She contracted COVID-19 and died in early February. When I speak about this, some parts of my heart still ache, she said.
Are you or anyone else you know who had the virus still dealing with lingering physical ailments or mental?
我知道很多人在跟着抗争，但是怎么说呢？这个疫情的爆发跟隐瞒是很大的关系的。我现在需要寻求的是一个公正，是我精神上的。我现在觉得我的孩子是被别人害死的，是被政府隐瞒疫情害死的，不能回避这个问题，不能回避这个问题。害怕肯定害怕，但是怎么说呢？孩子就这样走了，为他寻求一个真相，找出凶手，这就是对他最好的纪念。
Amidst the deep pain, we also encountered moments of hope in our return. On the eve of the lockdown last year, we visited this fruit market. This woman selling sugarcane told me at the time that she was terrified. She stayed, fearing the financial burden. 12 months later, we met again. Some fresh sugarcane. At that time, I was crying all the time, she told me. We were suffering and scared. Above her face mask, the pain still visible in her eyes. She says the people of Wuhan are resilient, likening them to heroes. I'm so glad to see you in person and to know that you made it through the lockdown and you're healthy. You do notice a big change in the mood from when we were here this time last year. It almost felt like the eerie calm before storm then. People were anxious, uneasy, not really knowing what was about to come. They shut down for several months throughout the lockdown, 76 days. The supervisor of this market tells me that this place went empty and they had to scrub it clean. And it wasn't until April that they were able to reopen again. And now here we are 12 months later and you can see, well, it's back to business. The market mood remarkably different from last year. Business bustling, people much more at ease. Would you say Wuhan is back open and on the path to recovery? It's not just starting from now, he says. It started very early, to be honest. In my opinion, Wuhan had already begun to recover since mid to late March. Delivery driver Lao Ji has become well known on Chinese social media as he chronicled life during the lockdown.
首先，我的工作是送food外卖，然后或者是肉、蔬菜或者药给封闭在家的人。之所以我会被很多人关注，不是因为我拍了东西，而是因为我从封城前后那么2天就开始记录我看到的一些东西，用图片，主要是用文字写的，确实能够触动很多人，让别人看到我在工作这件事本身就非常有意义。
The then and now are striking. A city desolate amidst the lockdown, followed by a summer with packed pool party images that shocked a socially distanced world outside of China. And a New Year's celebration that brought Wuhan residents shoulder to shoulder.
因为我父亲他是个退役的军人啊，后期在医院就是染上了新冠嘛。按照死亡证明上面说法，就是1月26号染上新冠的，2月1号去世的。其实我父亲这个人就是一个很普通的人，他也很爱国，知道吗？但是他却可能他没想到吧，为这个国家奉献了青春，奉献了健康，到晚年的时候却落到这么一个很凄惨的下场。因为武汉市地方政府如果因为他们不瞒报的话啊，我父亲肯定不会离开这个世界。我是6月份起诉武汉市政府、湖北省政府，还有那个中部战区总医院，但是法院并没有予以立案啊。8月份起诉到湖北省高级人民法院，也是一样的结果。我11月份呢，我的起诉到了最高人民法院，但是目前为止并没有任何信息回馈。就说我们国家长期的口号就是什么依法治国，法律面前人人平等，是不是？但是我到目前为止，我并没有看到这个依法治国、法律面前人人平等在我们中国具体的体现出来。
With new cluster outbreaks in the north of China, many here in Wuhan once again wearing face masks, cautious of the lingering unknowns, and still surrounded by the haunting memories of a lockdown that kept millions of residents, along with their grief, sealed inside. For some, only now, 12 months later, it is just beginning to surface.